Greetings, gamers, and welcome to the 249th live stream for the MisfitGamersStudios. I am your host, Vortex, and this is D&D Discussions. On today's episode, we have a brand new otherworldly patron, otherwise known as a warlock subclass, from pokeniner called the Runegrave. It's kind of fun. We've been having a lot of necromancy-based submissions recently, so yeah, we'll see what's going on here. This is not part of the necromancer subclass. This is just 100% a standard, regular homebrewed warlock subclass. So let's see what we got here from pokeniner and figure out what exactly the Runegrave is going to bring us in terms of a warlock. I'm hoping that we at least have some sort of deal with I'm hoping like a skeletal being or something like a lich. That would be really interesting, but I'm really hoping that it brings it full circle for us. But let's see what's going on. Let me get in here. There we go.
Hello. Shalom, my friends. Good to see everyone.
Sweet. So, yeah, no sign of pokeniner, but we can just kind of get right to it. I got no updates. Things are still on pause. Maybe, I don't know. I'll know in the next week how much things are on pause for the next month about the lightsaber stream.
Okay.
But still on.
Got you. Don't worry.
Still on. Just pending.
It's coming, guys.
Pending monies. I don't have any more monies. We need to do more of those subathons, but
I have the monies.
Usually you have to have a reason to do those. You can't just do them to do them.
True. True.
We really just need to get more eyes on us. Honestly, we just need more edited content, more shorts, more short form stuff, more YouTube edited videos.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Without that, we're not going to grow.
I really do like I like the new stuff that you got coming out on TikTok. I think a lot of that's going to be pulling in a different type of people, which is cool.
I hope so. I hope the shift will change things, and being able to consistently get over a minute will do me well, like in terms of content creation, and really pushing me to actually think through more topics than just try to give 6 to 10 second blurb. But yeah, hopefully that will expand. But really the next big move, if we want to grow at all, is going to have to be making content out of these reviews and out of our Friday streams, and making it in short form, making it into short videos and even shorts. So I have to just figure out how to pay for that too. I can't even pay for a fucking lightsaber, so we'll see. It's just so everything gets more expensive and harder to do. Well, everything gets easier to do, but more expensive and less lucrative. So,
Yeah.
This may just forever be a hobby. We can recover. We'll see.
At least from now.
At least from now. All right, well, hopefully Pokeniner shows up, but if not, there is always the VOD. And if that's what they have, hey, Pokeniner, welcome from the past. I hope the future is great right now. All right, hey. So today we have the Runegrave. This is going to be an otherworldly patron submitted by pokeniner, and again, I'm really hoping, to get something fresh. We've been seeing a lot of necromancy stuff, and with Runegrave, I'm really curious. Is this going to be like, I'm really trying to pull it out of like just the name alone. Could it have been someone mourning a grave, and then the spirit was able to like awaken and give them knowledge from beyond the grave that then empowered them? Is it you went to a graveyard kind of like in a ritualistic fashion, similar to how you would go to a crossroads to make a deal with a demon? Or is it that you're like, for whatever reason, you were in a grave and there was just an entity there that just feeds off? I don't know, like there's so many ways that Runegrave, but then there's rune in there, and yes, I don't know how that's going to play into a warlock.
To do with undead, I'm thinking like maybe it has something to do with either like rune carvings, like engraving something, you know what I mean? Like kind of like maybe it's like an item that you found that's been engraved with
interesting. So you take grave as in like carving, not grave as in like
that's my like with rune specifically, that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from it.
Okay. Okay, that changes it. That changes it. Wow. Okay. That'll be. I think that's probably a better way to think about it. I think I have been just caught up on the necromancy thing so much recently that
I mean, it does give those vibes too. Like I could still be wrong, but yeah, I'm curious.
All right, well, let's find out. We should know right away because we have a description. So, as always, we will start with the description. You forged a pact with a powerful giant. Okay, you were right. It's about runes.
Wild, wild.
No matter which rank of giant you form this pact with, your patron is a beacon of their kind. Although giants normally have no need to incorporate themselves into the lives of smaller creatures, there are times when mortals reach for the heights of giants, hoping to gain their aid in a common goal. Runegrave warlocks are known for bearing unique rune marks along their body, signifying their status to their patron, either as a servant or compatriot. All giant can recognize which race of giant and warlock serves through their markings, with the warlock acting appropriately according to their patron's ordaining rank. Interesting. Okay. So this is almost a sublet of the Rune Knight.
Like
It's similar to the Rune Knight because we did the didn't we do the warlock? We turned the Rune Knight into a warlock.
We did. Did we? Was it warlock that we did it? I thought it was something. Hold on, let me look.
Yeah, because it was the Rune Knight, and then we subletted it into, I think, a warlock subclass because we were asked to. I think that was one that was voted on. I wonder if that was voted on around the same time just for the purposes of inspiration for this. Because now that I'm thinking back on it,
oh, interesting.
This is starting to sound a bit like the one that, because the Rune Knight actually makes a deal with like the giants in order to get the rune power, right? But they're fighters. So I think we subletted it.
Originally, yeah. They figured out how to like use runes in their. Do I remember the description? I gotta look this up. I gotta figure out which one we did it to because I thought it was something. I wasn't sure if it was warlock or I don't know why I want to say rogue, but I don't think that's right. Maybe artifice.
No, I swear it was Rune Knight into warlock. But you should have you have, I think you have all the files of all of the
yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
I think the only thing I can check right now is Discord on my phone. You're taking everything up. Subletting subclasses. Oh yeah. Oh my god, bro. On the 25th of January last year, pokeniner submitted Rune Knight plus Warlock. This was pokeniner asked us to make one of these.
Funny. That's so. Where'd you find that?
I looked in subletting subclasses, the thread in the Discord, and I'm looking at it right now. It was the very first. So we first got the Gloomstalker Rogue from Soul. That was our very first submission. And then when I turned it into a thread, the first thing posted was by pokeniner, and they wanted a Rune Knight Warlock. And that's the one that we did. So it's hilarious that they asked us for that almost 2 years ago, and now we're reviewing their version of it.
Dude, I'm curious.
Funny.
So
can you pull ours up? I'm really curious to see what direction we all went.
Yes, I'm looking for it right now. Hold on.
Plus, I got to admit, there's going to be points taken off if it's too much like ours, especially if we were. You sent a lot of stuff. Yeah, we know. So we have records. It's all written down.
Where's sublet?
You know who we ain't seen in like an ages? Whatever happened to Cosmic? We haven't seen Cosmic in ages.
Where is our boy Cosmic?
I wonder if his buddy still streams. Maybe his buddy, because he was a mod for another streamer. Maybe they got big.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair. That's quite possible.
I mean, if they get busy, then maybe he can't come and hang out anymore. Because I think he used to mod while he watched the stream. So I wonder if She doesn't have any
I do
time
remember
anymore.
him saying that.
Because we never finished. We never got the rest of the dragon scales. We never, yeah, we didn't get the rest of that. We didn't get the rest of the storyline about what happens after that. There was still all the towers. We didn't even know what all the towers were because there were various items in each tower. Yeah.
Right.
Unfortunately, there was so much lore. There was so much lore drop, and then that was just like left.
He literally just dropped it like the mic. It's like, all right, guys, bye.
Yeah, bye.
But I think it's possible he's not gone forever. Maybe it's just, you know, lifes sometimes, and so I know sometimes people will disappear.
All right, yeah. You got our ours pulled up yet?
No, I found the stream one, but I'm trying to remember where the doc was for that. Let me see if it's in our email.
I don't know if I posted that one. Or did that one get transcribed? Like, did it actually make it into a format?
All the ones that I have in a format, I have in a folder. And I'm not seeing it in that folder, so that might be what happened. So let me... I have all my notes on it from the episode, but...
I mean, that might be enough. As long as we can just do a comparison of, like, the abilities and everything. Let me check the builds, because you put most of the builds in the Discord, too. Echo Stalker, Shazam, Battle Medic, and Battle Smith.
What's called Runegrave. Or Pact of the Runic Giant, I think.
Yeah, Path of the Runic Giant. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's not in the Discord, so it probably hasn't been transcribed into a thing. So yeah, if you have the notes, that's all we need.
Okay.
I think that's the best we're gonna get.
Oh, here it is. God bless America.
Oh, you do have it.
I do have it. God bless America. It's still in the Goblin notebook. I just didn't print it.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah. So you just hold that. Just keep that as a reference and let me know. We'll just kind of, we don't have to do a side-by-side comparison every level. Just chime in if at the end of like each ability.
Like, oh, that's not on the nose.
And if we go through like a whole, like we go all the way through level 3 and there's nothing similar, you can just be like, yep, that's unique. Like that had nothing to do with ours. So, and then we'll just move on. Like we don't need to remember. I just want to know how much we may have influenced it. All right, cool. So this will be interesting. All right, we get an expanded spell list. The Runegrave lets you choose from an expanded spell list. When you learn the warlock spells, the following spells are added to the warlock spell list for you. This is Absorb Element, Catapult, Enlarge Reduce, Skywrite, Call Lightning, Sleet Storm, Fabricate, Resilient Sphere, Flame Strike, and Legend Lore. Did we do the same? Did we have did we make a list?
No. We did have a list.
But they're different?
I want to say none of them are the same.
Perfect. And a lot of these look good. Yeah, I like Enlarge Reduce. I like Skywrite. Catapult's a great one. Not so sure about Absorb Elements, but we'll see. I mean, you're a warlock, you're magical, so I get it. I mean, Call Lightning, Slate Storm makes sense for the giants.
Yeah.
Legend Lore kind of makes sense, I guess, because, giants live a long time and, they have secret, knowledge. I would say, yeah, Flame Strike and Absorb Elements are the only wishy-washy ones for me, but everything else seems pretty good for me. Like, I think it's all pretty strong.
A little bit. Like, I guess I could see that, but it feels strange for, like, what they might be going for in this build. Like, to just be able to create stuff. So, I don't know. It could work out. I'm open to it.
Yeah. I would be more accepting of this one, but yeah, the Flame Strike, I mean, I guess Flame Strikes kind of go with Call Lightning and Slate Storm, but it's not really, I don't really associate that as much with giants. And Absorb Element, same thing.
Yeah.
It's not really the vibe I feel, but you know what, I could do. And then we get a bonus proficiency at level 1. Your servitude to your patron has trained you in the combat tradition of giants. You can speak, read, and write giant. You also gain proficiency in martial melee weapons. You also get engraved resilience. Your patron has engraved runes onto your body in order to aid you on your journey. These runes can take the form of tattoos, physical embeddings, or other items on parts of the body, such as a head, a torso, or an appendage. You can work with your DM to determine how these runes look. You have a number of these runes engraved onto your body equal to your constitution modifier. A rune's power is malleable, but it never changes its shape or form. At the end of a long rest, you can choose what each rune does from the following list. So you have a number of runes, aka a number of abilities equal to your constitution modifier of the following 4. Cloud rune. While you are burying this rune, you can use your bonus action to make a spell attack on a creature you can touch. On a hit, the attack deals thunder damage. The damage equals your charisma modifier. We'll get back to that one. I don't mind it, but there's just a lot of... I think some of that should just be static. Like, just you know, because it's like, you can do that, you could do, if this happened, or it's like, if you're wearing this rune, right? Because it's like, if you're wearing the rune, you can do a bonus action to do a spell attack if you can touch them. Then if it hits, then you have to look at the damage on your constant, you know, charisma modifier. And it's just like, I feel like at least the damage could just be flat. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to have, I just feel like it's just, it could be cleaned up. It could just be like a flat damage, or it could be a dice roll.
I think it might be just the way they worded it, because there's a much simpler way to word a lot of that so it doesn't feel as cumbersome. Like if you would just say, like, make a melee spell attack. You don't need to be, you can touch, any of that stuff. All that stuff's implied when it comes to a melee spell attack.
Yeah.
And then on a hit, it just deals thunder damage equal to your charisma. Like, all that's flat, yeah.
Yeah, and yes, and it was kind of nice is like, I don't mind it because it is just a quick, a small touch ability. You know, just small touch attack doesn't, you know, do a ton of damage. But I don't know. I know it's not a lot of damage, but I'm just thinking, like, again, from my point of view, without a limitation, imagine the idea of this. You're walking around in a city, and at any point, you're just going 3 to 5 damage. Someone walks up to you, taser them for 3 to 5 damage. The average person is dead by you just being like, get off me, bro. So with an unlimited amount, it does seem, in my opinion, a little bit above average, even though the charisma modifying, the charisma modifier damage isn't going to be a lot in terms of combat calculations. It's just the idea that you're basically a, you know, like a walking like beanbag cannon for anybody who gets too close to you. So granted, you could just punch somebody, I guess, you know, monks have, you know, flurry of blows. It's not like any other attack, but there's just something about it that just, again, the lore wise, when I look at it in game, that's a lot to get right out the gate, where you can just slap people for a flat damage just by touching them. So, and again, it's still a roll to hit. I'm not saying that it's broken. It's just, my interpretation of it is
basically operates mechanically like a melee strike. It operates like you punching somebody with your charisma modifier.
Yeah. Like,
that's all this lets you do, is as a bonus action, you can punch somebody with your charisma modifier. So, because when you punch, you add it's 1 plus your strength modifier's damage.
Yeah, and this one's like, just going into
yeah. And every like attack, you get a die roll plus your strength modifier if it's a strength-based attack, or plus your dex modifier if it's a dex-based.
That's why I say it's not the math, it's not the battle calculation, it's the ability, it's the power. It's the concept of I mean, quite literally, I just gotta touch you and just, you know, Fusrada, boom, I got flat damage. It just,
would you say that's much different than Shocking Grasp?
Because I look at it's probably because I do look at it a little bit differently, being that is like all out magic. Like, to me, that's actually like casting a spell, so there's a little bit more to that. This seems, again, that's why I'm emphasizing this isn't a combat issue,
somatic, or any kind of like actual components to it. It's just magic that's coming from you.
Yeah, it's purely based on like a lore and a like baseline mechanical feature, right? It's not like it's overpowered. It doesn't do much more than a cantrip, or like you said, it's just swapping out strength during a punch. But That's not the problem. It's just the idea that at this low level, right? Like right out the gate, that's just a good guarantee of damage, right? So
Sure.
again, it's probably not that big of a deal. That is probably just the way that I'm thinking of it and how I would like try to work in the lore, but that's just too much of like a innate ability right out the gate, I think.
Okay, fair enough.
But it's still a cool ability. For 5th edition, totally fine. But we got 3 other ones. Fire rune. While you're bearing this rune, you can use your reaction to deal fire damage to a creature that hits you with a melee attack. The damage is equal to your charisma modifier, so counterattack with fire. Love that. I always want more counterattacks. I really wish more things would give you the chance. What's up?
Is this like Thorns, where they just take the damage, no roll, no save, no nothing?
Yeah, it looks like when they hit you, it just flashes back damage.
But you do have to use your reaction. Okay,
yeah, you burn your reaction, and it just
yeah.
And I wish that more things had like counterattacks, so I'm 100% okay with this. I want that one. I would use the shit out of that one.
Yeah.
Because again, I feel like reaction is so situationally useful. Like it's just one of those action economies that I feel is wasted more often than it's not. You know what I mean? Like even attacks of opportunity, really, I just don't think are common enough for everyone to justify holding onto their reaction. I really wish there was more stuff we could use with it, especially stuff like this.
Yeah.
There's so many fighters and monks and those kind of builds that I want to put in more like reactive combat, right? I would love to do, can you imagine a pacifist build where the entire build, like we do a subclass of monk where it's all pacifist, where all the abilities are based on getting attacked, but none of them help you attack. So it's like you can get an ability where when attacked and successful and successfully hit, you can use your reaction to make a grapple and you have an advantage. And then another one would be, you know, so basically every ability, and even the subclass would give you like a bonus to your AC, but the whole point is you're not a fighter. You like the build would be about reacting to being attacked. It's not about being the one to attack. So you're essentially always waiting to use your stuff. So your stuff is all about reactions and
if they leave you alone, you're not going to touch anybody. If nobody attacks you, if you're walking in the midst of like all this chaos and nobody touches you, you don't touch anybody else. But the second somebody tries to put hands on you, cast a spell on you, shoot you with an arrow, you respond, you react, you flip the shit on them.
Right. And just it basically would turn the entire build into you don't act now, but you plan everything. You're like, hey, okay, so I see an archer. I'm gonna use my main action to be able to deflect missiles, right? Like maybe that costs more because they're not a monk. Or maybe they are a monk, so they could use deflect missiles and hold that reaction, but then they can hold their bonus reaction to do something else. You know what I mean? So you have those like, there would be something interesting about a pacifist build. And I don't mean pacifist as not attacking or not doing damage, but just in the sense that no ability gives you an aggressive move. It's all based on you being the victim. But that would be great for a tank. Like you put that as a tank, you make that a tank build and then put that in the middle of the battlefield. Ooh, that could be interesting. All right, so next one on the list from pokeniner, we have Frost Rune. While you're bearing this rune, you can use your action to grant a creature you can see within 30 feet an amount of temporary hit points. The amount's equal to your charisma modifier. I do like that all of this is based on the charisma modifier. Very, perfect. Sure. Very apropos for a warlock.
Yeah.
I don't mind this one. This one's pretty cool. It's not what I would have expected from the Frost Rune. Actually, I kind of would have expected that, I guess, more from the Hill Rune, I guess. But I don't mind it. I don't mind the opportunity. I would hope that, just like the other ones, there's a chance that this will increase with level, because it would be nice over time to, like, feel like this is going to be a little bit more powerful, more useful.
That's what I feel about all of these. Having them tied to your charisma modifier, and having it max out at 5, unless at a certain point these numbers double or get to add something. Like,
I mean, honestly, the best way I would look at it is if you would, it's your charisma modifier times one, 1/4 of your level. Now, what's going on, Hoilepa? So like, you know, if you're you know, because basically if you're doing it at 1/4 of your level, you're gonna have this for a long time. But once you get to I guess 8th level, that's when you're finally gonna get a ×2 modifier.
And
then
I mean,
once you get to 12,
every 5 levels. You know what I mean? Like, get
yeah, I mean, or you could just
level, 15th level.
Yeah, that would probably be easier than, you know, than saying like 1/4 of your level. But yeah, basically the idea would be it would just go up, you know, gradually and max out at like, you know, the ×4. But yeah, some sort of modifier I hope to see, because I do like these abilities, but I can see them falling off over time.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Fair enough.
In the last one, the Hill Rune, while you're bearing this rune, you gain a bonus to all your strength checks. The bonus is equal to your charisma modifier. I feel like for a warlock, this probably will be the least used.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
I have a feeling like I would.
I mean, it makes sense thematically for the giant. So, like, perhaps this warlock is one that is beefier or would like to portray themselves in that way, or whatever the case may be. So there might be a reason for them to want to fulfill that particular role of being the strong type individual. But generally speaking, when I think of warlocks, I don't think that. I don't think strength. I don't think, hey, I'm out here trying to, I don't know, break down the door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's a place for it. It's just out of all of the other ones, I mean, 2 deal damage of different types. 1 does temp HP. So yeah, I feel like this one I'm having a hard time seeing the use case for it, but I'm sure it's there. What's going on, Hecate? How you doing? Yeah. Which one are you referring to in terms of the stacking of flat damage? Oh yeah, we're only on 1st level, by the way.
Yeah.
This is the very first thing you get after.
Yeah, 2014.
Yeah. So and again, you also get a number of these equal to your Constitution modifier. So yeah, that's 1st level, and you get a number of these equal to your Constitution modifier.
Because if somehow you decided to get your Constitution up to an 18, you have all 4 of them.
Yeah. So that's automatically,
crazy. Like this should be. Like, at 1st level, you should only be able to have 1 of these. Like, I was going to say your proficiency modifier, but I think that's too much, because I think you'd get 2 at that point.
So there is this note down here that you can have any combination of runes, including the same type, including the same one. If you do, the effect does stack. However, you cannot have a number of the same rune that exceeds your proficiency bonus, which I feel is very odd. I feel like that's backwards, because your proficiency bonus will typically be bigger than your Constitution modifier.
It depends on how. Like, I've seen plenty of tanks that bump their Constitution first.
Like, I feel like this would be better the other way around. I feel like you would have a number of these equal to your proficiency bonus, so you get more over time, and you can never have more of the same one greater than your Constitution bonus or your Constitution modifier, right? That I feel like those just need to be switched.
Riddle me this: if I have the Cloud Rune and I take it 3 times, what does that mean when I use my bonus action?
So you can have, if you do effects stack. So while you're in this ring, you can use a bonus action to make a spell attack. So that's not the effect, that is the action. On the hit, the attack deals thunder damage equal to your charisma modifier. In my opinion, that's the stacking effect. So that would be 3 times your modifier. So for every rune, that's how you get our multiplier. So for fire rune, you would do 3 times the charisma modifier in. So if you had 3 fire runes, every time you got hit, they would take 3 times your charisma modifier and damage automatically. If you used your reaction.
Out the gate, again, we are talking about at first level. And depending on how DMs allow their players to build their stats, you could easily have a 20 in your charisma and an 18 in your constitution at first level.
Correct.
That could theoretically happen.
Which is why I think that the verbiage needs to be switched. I think that the number of these is equal to your proficiency bonus, and the number of any individual one is equal to your constitution. Because think about it. You've already been given the right to wear all the runes, but the constitution would be how much it would take from you to try to power up the same rune. So that makes more sense, because not every warlock is also going to be a con buff. Like they're not going to, all of them are not going to buff constitution and charisma unless that's what this is intended to do. So I would say that, yeah, that would make more sense, because then that eventually I'll be able to get 6 of these, but I'll never have more than 5 of the same one. So that means I have to have at least 2 different runes. I think that's
my problem. Here's my problem. My perspective from a 5th edition mindset. At first level, I have a 2 in my proficiency bonus. If I choose Cloud Rune twice, and my stats are as I described a moment ago, I now can do a flat 10 damage to anybody that I touch.
As a bonus action.
I don't have to roll for it. I am automatically doing 10 damage to you as long as I hit as a bonus action. That is way too powerful for a first level character.
It's even worse if it's but it's worse if you keep it the way it is and have 5 of those stacked right out the gate, or 4 of those stacked. It's even worse.
I absolutely agree. What I think is kind of how I was talking about at well, maybe a little bit more often than this, but like maybe you get a number of these equal to a third of your level rounded down, a minimum of 1.
Okay, how about this? What if the damage was equal to your level? As written,
damage is equal to your level?
So as written, like you said, I could have 4 of these at level 1, but I'm only going to max out at 4 hit points of damage if I max out all 4 of my runes on it. But at level 20, if I got 4 runes, yeah, you bet your ass I'm doing 80 damage as a bonus action. But it would be a huge ass scale like that.
I will say
or do what Hecate said and start with the D4 and then increase the die as you level up.
I will say I like the flat damage because the die thing has been done before. Like if you look through the monk level, if you look through a lot of the other subclasses, you'll start with a low die and then it'll slowly increase. And like, I appreciate the flat damage, and I liked the idea of, and I don't know if they do end up scaling it later, but I did like the idea that we came up with of every 5th level just doubling it. If we wanted to scale it in a different way, because I don't mind the charisma modifier, especially because this is a charisma build and like we want to like use our charisma a lot. I love incorporating that. I think that the number of runes, because if these are the only runes we're going to get throughout the whole thing, then okay. But the fact that we can stack these runes means that, because imagine I stack all of these on my heal rune, right? Imagine I get all of these as charisma modifiers, right? Then that means the minimum I can roll on my it's gonna be crazy. So I don't know how I feel about stacking these like this. If we're looking to try and stack these things, that is the scaling, right? So I would say I wouldn't give you the ability to choose multiple of the same types and stack it until later. I think that's where I'm struggling with. Like the stacking this early is kind of bonkers for me. And I think that should be something that you gain the ability to do maybe at 6th or 10th or like a later level or something like that. I think that's where my struggle is, rather than like how much damage it is, if that makes sense.
Right. And that's where, for me, the fix for that is to reduce the amount of stacking. But you're still right. Like, if you min-maxed it, or at least if you just did what you should do for a warlock, I mean, you are doing a flat 10, but that is not, I mean, not only is that just strong at level 1 for anybody, that's very impressive for a warlock. You know, that does make the warlock pretty beefy. Now, what I'm wondering is okay, so there's a bonus action, a reaction, an action, and just a flat bonus. Okay, so we have different types of action economy that it's touching, right? I was trying to think, would there be a way to see, I feel like that would make them too weak. Like making them the runes have to refresh. So you can stack them as in that's how many you get until a short or long rest. Because in that case, if you want to stack 4 runes and use them all, that's fine, but they're all burnt.
I like that a lot better. As in they're like, these are like the charges you get of them per short rest or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And
so if you want to be able to use Cloud Rune more than once in combat, you have to have the rune twice. Otherwise, so if you have it twice, you can cast it twice. So it's not a stack, but it's a repetitive. So don't make it stack, but make the runes like, so basically every short or long rest, the giant, kind of like your patron, the giant says, yeah, I'll give you the power back. But you don't get unlimited of my power. You just get it every time you call back to me. So that's why it's a short rest.
Then I could do one really powerful punch, but I could do one really powerful punch by stacking all of them in one.
And so so change the verbiage to where you can use a number of so you can choose a number of these runes, and then when you activate them, you can choose a number of the same rune you have. So again, like just change the verbiage that says when you have 3 cloud runes, you can choose to use one or all 3. But for every one you burn, it's it'll reset. But yeah, so you can choose to stack, or you can choose to do it more than once.
You might hate me for saying this, but something that I think we should bring back from 4th edition is encounter powers. And it's basically saying something resets on a short rest or a long rest, which requires you to like take like hours of time to do.
Yeah, it takes the in-game like RP. Yeah,
do this many times per initiative.
Yeah. No, I kind of do feel like there could be an extra action economy, because I feel like the short rest is meant to be the quick recoup after a battle, but again, there isn't really just something that just automatically happens when the combat officially is over and then restarts, right? Or something that restarts at the top of any combat. And honestly, that would be kind of a cool thing for to test it out, do like a subclass, but like called it like a battle sensibility, where at the start of combat this ability refreshes and is available until combat ends. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like when you're in that mode, you now all of a sudden are like, okay, my training's kicked on, I remember those things I can do. But in any other situation, I'm not going to be in that mindset to be ready to do those things, because that wouldn't be a great life to live, to be constantly like in that mode, right? So that could be interesting. I think we should talk about more about that, because I do think there's something missing there. So I think the consensus here is, if we're going to leave it as is, I would say at bare minimum, swap the proficiency bonus and constitution modifier for the mounts. That's my personal viewpoint. But I do agree with Kage that it does just stack way too quickly. So if that's not changed, because at least that would reduce the stacking, but that still creates a stacking problem, then the alternative would be to make these refresh on a short rest, and then for every number they have, they can either do it that many times or they can stack it that many times, burning the power of each rune as they go for a short rest. I think both of those are very solid solutions to make this a little bit less spicy. Because you're right, at first level, that's a lot. That's a lot of damage. I'm surprised no one threw that out there.
Honestly, for me, I don't think I could take this as is. It would have to be like an economy that you consume and refresh.
Agreed.
In order to keep the stacking.
Yeah.
If stacking is what's important to you, like that's what's required for me. But
I think the stacking is required because I don't think we're going to see another way that these are going to get more powerful. I think that's the point, is the stacking. So I think that's what makes them worth it. But yeah, we're stacking way too early, at least with the verbiage that we have. His Howl backstory is emotional damage.
Wild.
All
Wild.
right, well, let's see what happens later. So at level 6, we get Towering Form. Your service to your patron has awoken new runes for you to utilize. You get a stone rune. While you are bearing this rune once per turn, you can reduce the damage taken when you are hit by a ranged attack. The damage reduced equals your charisma modifier. So again, if you stack that, you could basically be reducing 10 points of damage from a ranged attack. That's basically never getting hit by a ranged attack. Like, and it's only once per turn. It's not like a reaction, but it's only once per turn. But that is basically like a guaranteed I'm not taking that damage. And then Storm Rune, while you're wearing this rune, you gain the flying speed and hover while in the air. The flying speed is equal to 5 feet times your charisma modifier. So again, if you max that out, you're just so why wouldn't you ever have the Storm Rune? You would always have the Storm Rune. The moment you get this, you have it. There's no reason to ever not have this.
So if you have maxed charisma, your flying speed is 25 feet.
Yeah,
it's not
but if you stack it,
oh shit,
that's my point. But yeah, you stack it, dude. You're fucking Superman. You're Goku at that point. You were just gone. And and all you need is that plus a couple stone runes. Like you have 2 of these and 2 stone runes, and basically you could fly around and people would try to hit you, and you'd just be like, "Dink, no, you're not gonna hit me right now."
Oh, here's what I love about this right now. What I love about how this subclass is being built is the modular ability for you to stack certain things, and like every one of these warlocks is going to feel like a different warlock, right? One person's going to choose like all stone runes, somebody else is going to choose all these. Like people are going to play with their runes in very different ways, and like they'll stack the things that are really important to them. Hey, I really want to make sure I never take damage. Hey, I really want to make sure I do a lot of damage. So I love that aspect.
I got an idea for you after we finish this one, but I have an idea for you to kind of you inspired an idea in me to fix this. But real quick, additionally, your runes have enabled your body to grow more rapidly. Your size permanently increases by 1 category up to large. Your hit point maximum increases by 1 for each level in this class and increases by 1 whenever you gain a level in this class. That's actually pretty fine. I'm okay with those. That feels pretty good for it.
Your hit point maximum increases by 1 for each level in this class.
So you'll go up by 6, and then you'll gain 1 permanent HP, additional permanent HP every class.
It's kind of like getting the tough feat, but it only starts at level 6.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean,
okay, cool.
Gives you like a charisma, gives you almost a bonus to your Constitution modifier without actually giving you a bonus to your Constitution.
Exactly.
I mean, most think that bigger numbers are better because that's how 5th edition is really run. It's number go up. So, okay. So we were talking a second ago about the customization. I think the way that you were absolutely right. The way that this class is building out is extremely customizable. So I'm going to suggest we bring back, you suggested bringing back something from 4th edition. I'm going to go and say we should bring back something from 3rd edition. Actually, this might be 2nd edition, but I think 3rd also had it. I would like to go back to, instead of saying that you have a number of these equal to whatever, you could go proficiency bonus. But I'm almost one. I mean, I guess I still kind of like proficiency bonus because it is more of the standard. But I wouldn't mind if you basically, due to your patron, you have a number of these equal to your level and you gain one every level. So at first level, you'd gain one of these 4. Then at second, third, fourth, and fifth, it would be one of these 4 each level. And then at 6th level, it's one of these 6. Then at 7th, it's one of these 6. So every level you're gaining one more, but you will have an ever increasing like list. Because I know that these are meant to be hot swapped, but I actually think it might be better to say that once you've chosen one, you're locked into that one.
You can switch them?
Well, he says it's meant to be malleable. Like it made me believe that these were intended to be, yeah, so it's like a rune's power is malleable but never changed its shape or form. So at the end of a long rest, you choose what each rune from the list does. So you have a number of runes, and every day you say, nope, this rune's that, this rune's that. Every day.
Like spells.
Yeah, so it's like
I can prepare my spells every day.
Which is in line with the warlock. Like it is in line with the spellcaster, but because the way that these are acting, I actually think they should be permanent. I think that once you select one, that's locked in. So kind of like what you said, everybody can be individualized, because if I can change it every day, it's not really everyone's getting a unique build. It's I'm getting a unique build every day. But if I was locked in, if I said that between level 1 and 4, I just locked in the fire rune, but then all of a sudden I realized, oh wow, and now I can fly. I'm the Human Torch, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where that's the customization you could have. If you were locked into it, that's where you would be extremely customized. And it limits how powerful each one of these are, right? Like these could be considered more powerful. So you don't get to choose them until level 6, which means you can't have chosen. You can only have so many stacked, right? Like it would limit you.
Yeah.
So I'm just, I maybe so, every level it could be too much. Maybe like every, starting at 1st, 3rd, 5th and all of that. But I think a permanent selection would be another solution.
I do kind of agree. When do you get a capstone?
14th.
Is it at 18th level or is it like 14th? That's too early. I do like the idea. I was thinking like, imagine if early on it was you can get a new one or switch an old one. So if you really want to switch something, even though it'd be kind of pointless. Like it'd be kind of pointless because if I wanted to switch it to something else, I would just pick that as my new one and still have the old one. Like that would be the way to do it.
Yeah.
But, like
so I wouldn't mind. So
if you had to like choose between the two or something like that. And
so how about just add that?
The ability to like.
Yeah. Well, I would just add that to every level, right? So every time you get one, right? Whether it's every level, every other level, however you think, like however many you want to limit it to, right? But the idea would be whenever you gain a new rune, you pick a new rune, but at the same time, you may also change one previous rune. So you don't get to just hot swap all of them. But if I have 5 and I'm like, man, I never use the hill or the frost rune. I never do it. I only have one of them. Yes. It's not worth it. So I've just got my 3rd fire rune. I want to turn my frost rune into a cloud rune now, because I don't use it anymore, right? Like that would be fine because you're still limited to the number of swaps, and the more you have, the more likely you want to swap something that you don't
that level up.
Yeah, so that's where I would go, and you can just do that where it's like every time you level up, you can swap one previous rune, and then every other level up or on these levels, you gain a new rune. I think that would be better because then you don't have to worry about these calculations of like the Constitution modifier, the proficiency bonus. You just say you get a rune at 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, and 3rd and 11th, right? So you just get like 6. And every level you may swap one rune for a different rune of your choice. So it's like you're gonna get one every other level, but you're gonna get to swap one every level. So every time you're critiquing this until you have the perfect build.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's like level 1, I choose Cloud Rune. And then level 2, I don't get one, but I can choose. I could turn cloud to fire. And then at level 3, I can get another cloud rune and then turn my fire rune into a frost rune. And then at level 4, I can turn that frost back into a cloud. Yeah. So it's more like I get to play around with the combos
10 rather than 20, which is okay. No, I like that. I like that.
So that would be another option that I think would make this more fun, because again, pulling from what you specifically said, the idea of everyone who plays this would get a really unique custom build. That's what's really lost in 5th edition, is if you and I choose the same subclass, it's so hard to make customized builds. Now, I know people out there are going to argue, well, that's what RP is for. That's where character creation, or character development is. I kind of hate that. It's such a lazy example, because people don't really understand, that's such a cop out. You can just say anything you want. Of course you can just say your character has development because he went through these things. I'm like, but that still isn't reflective of the virtues and the life they live and the things that they can do with it, right? I don't know. I think those are, like you and I talk about it, those are one and the same, but the idea of, well, I've pre-selected everything in my character's life, but no, he's totally going to have character development. Don't worry about that. He can totally grow. I've just selected everything for him, but he can absolutely, it's just a little weird. It's a little strange to think that would not anyway. I like the idea of a uniqueness.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah. I'm rambling at that point. But yeah, I do like the adding of more runes. I do like the options, but yeah, the stacking is just terrifying at this point. I think that's the only downside. It's too powerful.
I definitely like the one per other level. I'm really vibing off that right now. I think that works and that fits super well.
And that's how you would have seen it in earlier editions, which I think just gives it a more personalized feel. But that was level 6. Let's move on to level 10 with runic improvement. At 10th level, your patron has refined the runes on your body to become more impressive. Your rune effects calculate to double their amount for their purposes instead. So here's your ×2 multiplier. Additionally, you spend 1 minute Additionally, you can spend 1 minute entreating your patron for help reassigning the runes you currently are bearing. After you complete the entreatment, you can reassign what each of your runes are empowered by. Once you reassign your runes this way, you can't reassign them like this for 7 days. So basically, even though you can do this at a long rest, it's almost like, let's say you realize you're about to face off against something and you're not prepared, you can spend 1 minute to get the effect as if you had just had a long rest and change it all. But you're locked in for 7 days. I don't know. Being locked in for 7 days,
even at a long rest.
Yeah, you're locked for 7
rest. I can't do it first.
Yeah, I have a hard time with this one. It feels like the punishment isn't worth what you're getting, because if I can literally customize myself every day, it just that's a big punishment to have me do a one-time sudden reassignment. And I guess it is punishing, but I don't. It's punishing in lore, I guess, but it doesn't really punish the player properly, right? The idea being the player is going to min-max in the moment, right? That's kind of what this is allowing them to do. But the punishment is what? You're locked into this min-max build for for 7 in-game days. Are you going to make those 7 days?
I would imagine the primary reason for something like this, needing to do it so quickly that I can't take a long rest. I can't wait till the next day to redo my runes.
Mm-hmm.
The reason for that is you just discovered something that I need a very specific rune for right now, or maybe a combination of specific runes for. And so that might not be optimal for the rest of my days, but it's so optimal that I'm willing to be suboptimal for the rest of these 7 days.
But I just mean
have this build that would be the initial.
But what I'm saying is from the player point of view, is that justifiable in the sense of, is that actually going to make the player feel that, right? Are the next gaming sessions all going to take place within those 7 days? It's kind of what I'm saying, right? Is it realistic to say that because I get that. I totally get the idea that in lore, hey, you get this for, you can do this every day. So if you need to call on me, you're locked in because it's that important, obviously. But I meant from like the player point of view, if I decide to do this, right before combat to guarantee like a good outcome, are the next 4 gaming sessions going to be within those 7 days in order to make me feel the pain of having done that? And that's my only thing is like, that's why I feel like the punishment doesn't quite seem to fit to actually make the player feel it. But I do like that there's a punishment.
I'll say there's definitely times that it won't. Like say you're just outside of town and you can just go hang out in town for the next 7 days. But like, say you're like dungeon diving and you've been diving this dungeon for like the past like 4 days, and you're 4 days from the entrance, and either you keep diving in further or you fight your way back out so that you can wait out those 7 days so that you can like there can be scenarios where it's detrimental, and yes, they're definitely going to feel the pain in that, and they're going to feel the weight of that choice, but there'll definitely be times where it'll just be like a shrug emoji and they can just wait it out at the bars and not worry about it, and like, we'll tackle that mission later or some other kind of shit. So I can see both. Like, how often will those come up? That I'm less sure on. Like, I don't know if we're gonna see the former way more often than the latter. I do feel like the way a lot of games roll nowadays, a lot of people are always going back to town. They're like, you do a mission, you come back. You do a mission, you come back. It's very like we were talking about the other day, episodic. It was very like, you're not feeling like you're experiencing like these long, drawn out journeys of being out in the wilderness and experiencing like craziness. So I do kind of wish there was more of that kind of stuff, but it is what it is. So
yeah, it's giving me ideas though. Okay, how do you feel about the damage doubling?
So here's the deal.
All effects, like all of their effects double. So we're talking about Cloud Rune does double your charisma, Fire double your charisma, Frost double the amount of temp HP, Hill Ruin double your charisma for strength checks, Stone is reducing double the amount of damage of your charisma, and Storm Rune is now doubling your flight speed.
This is 10th level, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like as this subclass is written all by itself, without any of our adjustments, you get a proficiency bonus of 4 at level 10, which means you can stack each and every one of these 4 times, right? Now, although as written, you only get 5 of them. You only get 5 of them, period. Unless you find a way to get your charisma higher than 20, which is possible but unlikely at level 10.
But we're gonna assume that you're getting 5 of these at this point.
Dude, if I stack the Cloud Rune 4 times right now, and my charisma modifier is 5, that means I am getting 5. No, I'm sorry. I'm getting 10. 4 times.
Or 40, yeah.
I'm getting 10 4 times. So I am at 40 damage with a bonus action guaranteed at level 10 every turn.
Yep.
On top of whatever my regular attacks are.
And really, like, let's face it, that other rune, you're going to choose Storm Rune. Like, let's face it, you're going to be flying at double your speed now. Now it's double, it's 10 times, it's 10 feet times, or it's 10 times your charisma modifier.
Oh.
Because I'm assuming that this is what doubles, not your charisma modifier. It's this that doubles. So it's 10 feet.
So it's like 10 feet times your charisma modifier. Yeah. So it'd be 10 feet times your. Yeah, absolutely.
So at that point, you are doing 50 points of damage, and you're able to fly 50 feet.
Like 50 feet around. Dude, you're a freaking jet. You're a jet.
So yeah, there's definitely some OP-ness on this because of just how much that stacking really like makes this thing terror.
Yeah, like,
and that's not even again, and this isn't even considering anything else you could do as a warlock. Think about the spells that you could stack along with this.
Warlock, bro. As we're going through this, I fully forgot we were a warlock. I'm just literally looking at this as
so imagine any spell that you could tack onto yourself on top of everything that you're doing here. It's just, yeah, it's kind of crazy how powerful this got really quick. And like you said, that's a bonus action.
Yeah,
that's 40 points of damage just as a bonus action.
You don't have fifth yet, I don't think.
And the fact that you can like fly in, like you could literally be 25 feet away, fly in, thunderclap someone to the ground with this, and then fly out. You could literally bitch slap someone for 40 points of damage from across the room. You could just hover your ass over there, bitch slap them for 40 points of damage, and then just hover back. Like what?
Yep.
Like do something about it.
Now they might get into like an opportunity unless you can disengage somehow. But still,
dude, you're a warlock, man. I'm sure there's a feat that you can take that gives you like the disengage action. Like I'm sure there's got to be something that.
I fully forgot you get invocations too, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
OP as fuck.
Okay, out of curiosity. So when it says that on the Cloud Rune, you make a spell attack, there is a feature that you can get from Sorcerer that with your meta magic, you can do something called Distant Spell, where you double the range of any spell, and if a spell's range is touch, it becomes 30 feet.
Right.
Would you say that works on something like Cloud Rune? If I took a couple levels or a level in Sorcerer and I turned this into, could I turn this slap into a 30-foot range slap?
I mean, by this, it's basically this wording is creating its own touch spell. So technically, yes.
Because you're making a spell attack. Hold on, I gotta read the wording of the Sorcerer thing. Because that's so nuts. Meta magic, there it is. Careful spell, distant spell. Cast a spell.
I'm looking at the invocations right now, trying to see like
if the range. When you cast a spell that has a range of touch, you can expend one sorcery point to make the range of the spell 30 feet. So for a sorcery point, I could slap you with 40 points of damage.
Jeez.
And they're both charisma casters, bro. Like, they would synergize real well if you wanted to multi-class. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm really trying to find an invocation that would work with this.
Oh, and the invocations?
Yeah.
No, that's specifically with Eldritch Blast. I was saying there's something that would add modifier damage on top.
There's so much that would that affect Eldritch Blast, but wouldn't affect this, which is unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. Dude, imagine if the repelling blast you could dude, that would be an amazing feature for this subclass. Imagine if there was a feature that said any Eldritch invocation that affects Eldritch Blast can also affect your Cloud Rune attack.
No, I got one. I got it at 5th level. especially for Cloud Rune. You want one for Cloud Rune? Oh, wait, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Fuck.
I mean, I think it's going to be the one people are going to use the most, to be honest.
Sign of Ill Omen.
Sign of Ill Omen.
Yeah, Sign of Ill Omen, 5th level. Prerequisite is the 5th level, but that one right there, along with Cloud Rune, magic, absolute magic. You can bestow curse once using a warlock spell or a warlock spell slot. You can't do so again until you finish a long rest, and then bestow curse is a touch attack. So I assume that if you use Cloud Rune and then burn that, it technically would count.
Oh, you mean like using the attack to cast bestow curse?
That's how I would like read it, is like if you're doing a warlock spell like the Cloud Rune, you'd be able to burn a spell slot and activate this, is how I read that.
Okay, so the way I read this is you can cast bestow curse using a warlock spell slot. So my understanding is you have to
so
use
it's
your
just
action and
it is just a regular spell. Okay, so that's
spell.
just okay, gotcha. I thought that was like an add-on to what they can do.
Dude, that would be so cool if I could. I feel like that should also be a thing. Being able to like activate certain spells like on hit or something like that. Like, dude, imagine if there was like a monk, like a spell slinging monk, like every time he would hit you, he could like release a certain spell or something like. Ooh, that would be so nuts.
That'd be dirty, dude. That'd be so dirty. Spellcasting monk.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
All right, well, let's see this capstone. We got one more. Let's see what the capstone's all about. This one is called Jatoon Rune. Your patron entrusts you with the Jatoon Rune, which carries the blessings of the Allfather. I mean, odd thing for a giant to randomly trust a mortal with, but okay. As a bonus action, you can choose one of your assigned runes to enhance, becoming a Jatoon Rune for 1 minute. You gain the following benefits for its duration. You gain resistance to a certain type of damage depending on the rune you enhance. If the rune is fire or frost, you gain resistance to cold and fire. Okay, so you get both. If the cold was cloud or storm, you gain resistance to thunder and lightning. If the rune was hill or stone, you gain resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. If your size increases to huge, if you lack the rune to become huge, your size won't change. While you are that size, your reach increases by 5 feet. When you deal damage to a creature from an attack,
rune that makes you huge?
I don't know if there's a specific rune. I think this is just part of this ability. And then when you deal damage to a creature from an
I'm sorry.
Room. Yes, not when you're not at the room. Yeah, so if you don't have room to grow, you won't like squish yourself.
Not true.
When you deal damage to a creature from an attack, you can force the creature to make a strength saving throw against your warlock save spell DC. On a fail, they are knocked prone. You can use this feature. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, which makes sense. Okay, so you grow a little bit longer, one size larger. You will, or your size increases to huge, period. So it doesn't matter what size you are, you will go to huge if you haven't gone to large yet. You'll get an increase in attack range of 5 feet. You'll get some sort of resistance, and whenever you deal damage, you have a chance to knock them prone.
So I'll say for the most part, I like what it's doing. I don't think it's necessarily all it should be doing, because right now
it's not enough.
You get resistance, you get a little bit longer range, and you get to knock them prone.
Yeah.
Like, you get the chance to knock them prone. Like, CR quarter wolves in a pack can do that. Right? So I might change the knock them prone to knock them back like 15 feet or something like that. I would say this. the doubling that you get at level 10, make that a part of the Jatoon rune.
Ooh.
I would be way more cool with that. I would be way more cool with that, even with the stacking.
Right, all of it, yeah.
Make it just for a minute, and yeah, yeah, you're gonna become this wild powerhouse, but it's for a minute. You know what I mean? So, what else do I feel? When do you actually get the other size increase? That's at 6th level. You go to large, and there's nothing else that really changes when you go.
You know what? I think I have the same exact advice that you have. So actually, I think I'm gonna take both of our ideas, because I'm looking at this and I'm like, you know what? You're kind of right. Like, I get why the doubling should go here, but I'm like, also in one, I'm like, really, wait, what else was it? You get those. Oh, and this ability to reassign them. I was also thinking, I'm like, that should also be part of this. So here's what I'm thinking. The resistance should come at level 10. Like at level 10, for, you know, any rune that you have more than 2 of, you get like the resistance up, right? So if you have 2 fire, you get fire resistance. If you have 2 frost, you get cold resistance. If it's, you know, cloud, it's thunder. If it's storm, it's lightning. If it's, you know, like if you have more
than 2
or 3, yeah. But basically, because the idea of like, I would make level 10 give you the resistance based on whatever a certain combination, right? So move that to level 10.
Yes. Okay, agreed.
So the Jatoon, what I think the Jatoon should be is when you activate this, like as a bonus action, an action, whatever, right? This should just be an automatic activation. You ask for the power. You know, you can get the power of Jatoon. You instantly get to reassign all of your runes. So right then and there, you're like, I need. You're like, hey guys, look, I need this shit. Just right now, it's not, like I need to power up. So first off, you become huge. Your all your shit doubles, but then you get to immediately reassign all your runes. But the downside is that at the end, you must roll for all of your runes, and those are locked in for like 7 days. So basically, it's like when you come out of this state, you get a random jumble of runes, and that's what you're locked into.
Okay. You know what else I like for this? So again, as written, you only ever will get 5 runes unless you get your charisma higher than a 20, which you might get at this point. But it would still maybe be 6. So I would do 2 things when you use this Jatoon rune. Number 1, I'd remove the restriction on how many of one type you can.
100% agree. Yep.
Stack them all on 1 if you want to.
Yep. I totally agree.
And then potentially give them I don't know how many would be okay at this point, but like potentially give them access to more than just their normal 6, right? Or their normal 5 that they are getting right now. So I think something like that in combination with this would make this feel so cool, and make this last epic battle like, dude, imagine you do this like in the middle of like the boss battle, and like things are like going poorly, and you just like roid out. I even think it would be cool. Well, maybe not. I was gonna say I even think it would be cool if you just got all the resistances. So like at level 10, you get 1 depending upon how many you have.
Yeah.
But now you just get all the resistances.
Oh yeah, you are in the case of that, you know, in that case, like just giant.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that would be really interesting. I think that all of the pieces are here. I just think that they're in the wrong order because it's too powerful.
Yeah, I agree.
It's far too powerful. But a lot of the pieces are there. A rejumble and definitely a rework on the stacking. Like the stacking's an issue. I think where we're calculating them from can be worked on. And I really do like the features of this capstone. It's not a capstone as it is, but all of these are good features I want on
Yeah.
this subclass. They're just not capstone features. But it is different.
So,
I do
again,
feel
it
this is
fully
quite different than
congratulates
ours.
Spellcaster. It absolutely is. I've been looking back and forth between ours, and I'm like, no, there is zero similarities.
I
to
think
what
we
we're
stayed
doing,
specifically with the Rune Knight build and didn't taper
Yes.
off. This is
Because that's what
100%
we
something
were
different.
subletting. We were trying to take the idea that the Rune Knights use and use it for a different class. This is
Correct.
feels like a completely different idea.
Yeah,
that
this is something
being
just
implemented here. So yeah.
yeah. The other one's like an evolution. This is like divergence, right? Like this just happened to, or convergence, right? Like they both happened to go to the same place, but for different reasons. Whereas ours was they went to the same place for the same reason. Okay, so fascinating build. I want to like. I really do like its idea, its concept. I want to like it more, but it's far too powerful, and it just. I don't know. It's like it starts super powerful, and then I feel like it just doesn't deliver like really strong in the end. Yeah, I'm sure there is someone who would really like this. And all of the pieces are there, minus like one or two, but I mean this has potential. I don't know where it has a place. I don't know what gaming group or what like adventuring party this would really fit well with.
I'll say this. Like you said, I think all the pieces are here. I love all the runes that exist for this. And for the most part, how they function and how they're tied to charisma. I will also say, with the adjustment of, like we were talking about, placement within the level up process, as well as adjusting how the runes function. Those two things, I feel like I have everything I want here. I wouldn't have to change anything else. Like, that change in and of itself is significant, but changing how the runes function, like how often you get them, how powerful they are, and changing where a lot of the features that you get show up in your level up process, I could have so much fun with a subclass like this.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Yeah,
and,
there's a lot of cool features in this that I would like to play with. I really think too, we're understating how OP this can be once you add a someone who's proficient with stacking spells and understands how to layer a spellcaster, because that plus maybe a small multi-class. Like honestly, if you multi-class before you got to the Jatoon rune and you just gave up on this, just this kind of level up, this could be so much more devastating if all you got were all your runes. I mean, even this one, like getting just to level 10 where everything doubles and then putting 10 levels into anything else, dude, like devastating.
Bro, yeah, no, that's it's so crazy.
So I do have to be hard on this one. I am going to be harsh because it is far too OP. Like out the gate, I don't think there is another type of build that is so strong out the gate.
No, yeah, especially that is because you get it at first level. You're not even third level.
And I know we haven't seen a lot of
first.
We haven't seen a lot of things from 2024, so maybe it does skew a bit more. Quick, somebody clip that.
This is 14 still.
Clip that video. I want to get that picture. Put it in the Discord. I'm putting all the funny pictures. Yep, I'm putting all the funny pictures on our on our rotation. But yeah, so
frozen.
Yeah, you were frozen, just off screen a little bit.
So wild. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to be a little bit harsh on this one, just because I don't think the balancing was there. It didn't really like end very well, but it's not the worst score. It's just it's not really compatible with how it's written. But I do think that there is potential here. I do think it could be fun, but I would like to see it changed before being put like actually into production. But I'm gonna give it a 4. Again, not the worst that we've seen. Yeah, a lot would need to be changed and modified. It's and reorganized. Like, unfortunately, it's a cool concept, but there's not much I can work with for High Point. So, but thank you, pokeniner, for submitting that. As always appreciate them. Don't take my word for it. I'm not a professional. I'm just somebody who likes to play TTRPGs.
True. It's how we roll, y'all.
Oh boy. Well, that was good. That was fun.
No, it was very cool. I was super stoked for that. So I was curious which direction it was going to go. I'm so interested that he was the one that put that in our chat, or to put the idea for us to do our version, and then he ended up creating his own. So
yeah, I really wonder.
I'm gonna have to ask him about that next time I see him in Discord.
Yeah, I really want to know what the timelines were. Like, when did he make this versus when did we make ours? And like, was there any influence? Was that the purpose to see what we would do, or did they already have it and wanted to see what we would do before they submitted? Because I'm actually, do you know when they submitted that one? I'm actually curious if it was submitted before they asked.
When did you say they put it in? They put that suggestion in Discord. I'm gonna
January
check
2025
to see when they actually see it. January 25. Ooh.
Yep, January 25th, 2025. It's been in our box for.
That's crazy.
We did that we did that. Dude, we've been doing this for a long time. We've done so much.
Yes, we have.
Crazy.
So he submitted it on May 12th, 2026.
Okay, so well over a year later.
Well, a year later. But when was the episode? I just had it up a second ago. Let me see when we actually did the episode.
That's fair.
Let me go. Contents. And that was a subletting subclass. And that was on February 22nd, 2025.
And the official video, the actual edited video, came out March 26, 2025. So yeah, submitted well over a year after.
Yeah. Okay. So it must have been something. It feels like something he revisited later. Maybe he was just sitting in the wings until he finished it or something like that. But okay, cool beans.
It's kind of fun though.
Very fun. Very fun.
Bad idea.
I'm glad you sent it in. Let's see. Can I find it? There it is. Alrighty. We got this guy.
Why would you?
This guy.
I was trying to open.
And this guy.